Men over 40 choose women based on these 4 feelings. Hey, ladies, welcome back to the Magnetize Your Man online retreat. I'm, of course, your host, Antia Boyd. And today we have our guest expert and very dear friend, Mike Goldstein, here with us. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Antia. Thank you for having me again.
I'm so excited to have the insight into the male psychology. It's really great. And ladies, for those of you who don't know who Mike is, he's a one-on-one dating and relationship expert, founder of Easy Dating Coach, and he helps men and women make dating and relationships easy. He has been featured on the Today Show, the Star Ledger's Reader's Digest, and Shape magazine. He gets 83% of his clients into relationships. He accomplishes by teaching on and offline dating, but his specialty is using data from multiple major online dating sites to ensure his clients typically only need to meet 6 to 8 people to find someone they like. Mike's clients usually get into a relationship within 3 to 4 months of working with him, and then in month 5 to 6, they learn how to understand the opposite sex, set sexy boundaries, and fight fair when arguing with their partner. All right. Did I leave anything out?
Well, I don't know. That was a mouthful.
Yeah, totally. Well, I'm excited because, most women that come to us, they date men that are over 40. So this is a really great title. And so what should a woman focus on? What's really magnetic to men who are over 40?
Yeah. So you probably don't know about this, but I forget how many years ago, it might have been 8 years ago or so, I polled 2,000 men because I really wanted to figure out what men want from women, especially men over 40. What do they need to fully commit? What do they need to feel like this is my partner? And so a lot of them, weren't really capable of answering, Antia. So they'd be like, oh, I want a sandwich and a blowjob. And I'm like, that's not what we're doing here. So I'd really push them.
Yes.
And really figure out what they actually needed for real commitment, real partnership. And so after a lot of pushing, we came down with these 4 things that they need. And then I wanted to make it very simple to explain to everyone. So I came up with an acronym, and we call it NAB. So NAAB, you got to nab a guy. And so those are the 4. Would you like me to go over the first one?
Yes, let's go.
All right. So the first N, and only N, is needed. What we've noticed, and I'm sure you've seen this, Antia, is it's a whole different world out there. So this is the first generation where everyone, or not everyone, where a ton of people that are getting together, it's for love. And this is the first time in the last 50 years where men weren't just the breadwinners. Now we have dual income families. We have a ton of women in the workforce. We have a ton of single women in the workforce. And so the man who used to have his spot where it's like, I make the money, I pay for the dates, I provide, I take care. He's like, I don't really need to do that anymore because these women have amazing jobs, have great careers, have their own money. So it's like, what is my spot? And then you look at some of these single moms, and they might as well be called superwoman because they are the mom, they are the dad, they go to work, they take care of the household, they're doing everything, and they embody the masculine, the feminine. They literally do it all. And if you look at most single moms, they are rock stars and they run a tight ship and they kick butt. And now when the man pops in, sometimes he's like, how do I help this situation? I'd like to feel like I have a purpose here. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%, because a man actually also finds his purpose and identity in being the provider, feeling needed, feeling like he can be the hero, right? So it's almost like saying his life force energy drains out of him because what happens to a man when he's not, you tell me, Mike, what happens to a man when he's not connecting to his purpose and his mission?
Yeah, if we have no purpose, we get depressed. And that's why you look at what's happening to a lot of men. They're getting fat, they're getting man boobs. It's because they don't see what their purpose is.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, ladies, this is his responsibility. He has to find his purpose. But so if he's got his purpose in singledom and maybe he's in shape, he's got a good job and he's got his act together, but when he gets into a relationship and you want him to leave this singular purpose right here of his single, build his amazing career, whatever it is. Well, if he wants to come into a relationship, it's got to be amazing. And he's got to have a purpose with what that is. So maybe that's, at some point, like if you have young children or maybe he's going to their soccer practices, maybe he's coaching the team. Maybe you make room for him and say, hey, I forgot the milk. Will you get the milk for me? Mm-hmm. Or even at the household, hey, can you chop the firewood? Hey, can you, even simple stuff, can you get me a glass of water? Hey, the temperature is 67. I'd like it at 68. I'm getting cold. Can you help me, big, strong man? Like simple stuff to make it feel like he's actually providing for you, even if it's little stuff.
And like also that he gets to solve the problem, because men just like, if there's no problem to solve, I feel like they just get a little lost. I mean, especially if they're on the masculine side, right? Like they're like, there's a little bit of a confusion. And I think we see that right now in society a lot.
Oh, yeah. I always think back to this one client of mine. So she lives in one of the most affluent towns in New Jersey, which I know very well. She's got an amazing house. She's got a big job. She's like a director or VP at a large advertising agency. She's got I think he's a 12-year-old at home. She literally does everything. And then this guy came over that she was dating, they're on date 8 at this point. And it's during, they're hanging out at home. And she had a broken Peloton. And she didn't feel comfortable to ask for his help. And this guy's like a builder. This guy's an engineer. This is what this is his bread and butter. He knows how to fix things. And she just couldn't ask him. She's like, that's not me. I don't ask for help. Mm. And then finally, the guy's like, he saw that it was like, a screw was off and a thing was off. He's like, I'm fixing your Peloton. And she comes into our meeting, Antia, and she's like, it was the most uncomfortable thing. Like, he was fixing it. And I shut down and I was like, oh my God, someone's doing something for me. And I was like, yeah, isn't it great? And then eventually he fixed it. And she comes back to me. She's like, this guy, Mike, is the most amazing man. Like, he fixed my Peloton. It works now. I was able to work out and it felt so amazing. Like, I didn't have to do anything and something got done.
it's like a whole new world to her, right? Like that she doesn't have to carry on her shoulder, but she gets to stay in her like achievement mode, right? Because like, getting onto a Peloton. So he also communicated into her value system in a way.
Oh, absolutely. And he got to explore that. I think she started to let her guard down and be a little vulnerable. But on top of that, she entered queen mode. Because if you think about it, like, I think there's a progression. Like, think about Beyonce. Like, she went into Miss Independent mode and she was a badass. And everyone looked at Beyonce and they're like, I want to be Beyonce. Miss Independent, like she could do it all. And then, that was the beginning of her career. And we're like, oh, we want to be Beyonce. And then Beyonce went to Queen Bee. And you know what Queen Bee did? It wasn't she did everything herself. Now Queen Bee had people do things for her. And so I want all the women here, if you went to Miss Independent mode, which a lot of you are at, let's go to Queen Bee. And Queen Bee has minions. And our minion can be our man because he loves it, because he gets purpose in providing to you. And then we move to the next thing he needs, which is appreciation. So when he finally hears, like, you fixed my Peloton, like, you are the most amazing man on the planet. Thank you for allowing me to work out. Thank you. I was never going to fix this myself. Like, you stud. He's going to love that.
Oh, that's so sweet. So what's number 2? What's the first A? Because we have 2 A's to cover.
Yeah, the first one was the appreciation, which we just talked about. So, but if we want to step it up, really rev it up, I was talking to Adam Galad, Adam, right? So another dating coach, and he's like, well, what about if we, instead of appreciation, we went to admiration, which is the escalated appreciation. This is when a woman looks at a man, and really you shouldn't be dating a man if you can't get to this state, because it's probably not your right partner, where you look at him and you go, this guy's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, and there's a reason why he's incredible. Like, he is so good at X.
Mm-hmm.
So then voicing that to him, instead of being like, hey, thank you for fixing my Peloton, the next step, and don't get me wrong, we need a lot of appreciation, but the next step is making him feel admired because he's great at something. Like Helena, our good friend Helena, who's married to Tom, Tom works, Tom works on the James Webb telestation that's going into, like, how incredible is that? This guy built something that is now going into space. Like, and she just looks at him with like these big eyes, like, whoa, like this guy put something into space that's going to have like infrared viewing so that we can see things millions of miles away. And like telling him, like, that's incredible. I can't believe you built this thing.
Absolutely. Right. And then, like, how does that feel to a man? Like in terms of like, cause it's like, I really feel it's like food, when they get this admiration. I mean, I agree. I totally admire my husband. I wrote a song for him that if nobody can do it, he can. Cause I've never seen him like not be able in 8 years to fix something or to solve the problem, no matter where we were in the world, if it had something to do with flights, with furniture, with cars, with whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like he would solve the problem, right?
I agree. I had a 2-year problem that Brody fixed. I couldn't figure out how to get affiliate links to work. And he's like, here's the solution. We eventually got there. That's who Brody is. Like, he figures it out.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly. But again, let's talk a little bit about like just also what it takes for a woman to get into that admiration, because I could see so many women just kind of rolling their eyes, especially if they're more like alphas and they're like, I don't want to have to do like another thing on my list, or just like, here's another thing where I have to pretend to be someone that I'm not. Like, how can a woman get a little bit more into like, in more like an authentic or genuine place, but still admire the man?
Yeah, like, first of all, I get the eye roll. Like, men, listen, if there's any guys watching, you need to be a man and you need to get shit done and you need to be in your purpose. And it's not her job to create a purpose for you. Like, figure your shit out, get it done. But ladies, we're not being Miss Independent. That's great. You got there. If you really want to escalate your life, we're going to Queendom. And that's where you put your feet up and you ask for help, because that should be the ultimate place for you. It's kind of like if you start a business. At first, it's time for money. I've got a coach, so I make money. That's great. That's the first iteration. A real business owner like Jeff Bezos, who has Amazon, that dude's not delivering the freaking packages. He's got a whole bunch of guys and a whole bunch of people that are delivering his packages for Amazon. That's what being a queen is. It's like, I've got this slew of activities where for a while, my first iteration was I did them all. But now I'm Jeff Bezos, bitches. And I've got people that help me with things. And it's going to make him feel good. It's going to make you feel supported. And now you're the CEO and not, the person doing the work.
Totally. So good. Yeah, absolutely. And what is the second A?
Ooh. So we're going, NAB is needed, appreciated, admiration. And then the second A is going to be accepted. This is huge. A man, let's just be blunt about this. Let's use an example. So we know that women use 20,000 words a day. We know men use 7,000 words a day. And so if that happens for years, and then we look back at, preschool days and middle school and high school, men were out there throwing the football, playing soccer, whatever. Women got in a circle and they talked. And so what happened over time is women are much better at social skills than men. So men are going to say a lot of stupid shit in public settings. And this all circles back to a woman that admires his guy. So when I say some boneheaded thing and my imaginary girlfriend's with me, she's going to laugh or think I'm cute or think I'm charming, whatever. And she accepts and loves who that is. The wrong person for me is going to roll her eyes and be like, whoa. So if you pick a guy and you're out and you feel like you want to roll your eyes and you're like super embarrassed by him, a lot, that's not your guy. The right guy, you're looking him out with these big doughy eyes and being like, I have the best man ever. And everything he says is, or not everything, but 95% of things he says is gold, and I love it. And so it's accepting these boneheaded comments, accepting who he is, accepting everything that's happening.
And how is that different from a woman being a doormat?
It's strategically picking the guy, right? So first it starts with the guy that's driving you nuts, that you're out and you're like, oh my God, that guy's got to go. You pick the right guy. And now what I love about women that do this properly is they should have this soft, cushy exterior. And then when a guy does something stupid towards her, then she's got this really hard core. That's where Miss Independent comes out. Mm-hmm. And then when you get to that hardcore, then she goes, whoa, the doormat thing's out the door. No, sir, what you did is not good. So that's when she gets strict about things, and there's no doormat. There's, I love you. What you just did here didn't feel good.
Mm. Yeah. And also, it has so much to do also when I can accept myself more, right? Like I'll be projecting less judgment onto my man, right? Because I'm like, cool. Like that's his, like his quirkiness or his awkwardness or his, geekiness or whatever the case may be, right? Because I have embraced that inside of myself. But if I'm like concerned with like looking good and being, Mrs. Perfect and, definitely making sure I come off as mature, right? Then I will have more judgments on the guy. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah, just be yourself. We just need, the quicker we can get to two people just being absolutely themselves, the quicker we can see if they're a real match or not. So if you're yourselves and it's 95% compatible, boom, we've got a match. More likely than not, it's going to be somewhere between 75% or below match or whatever, and then you're not a match.
I love how you have like your whole engineer brain. It makes things much simpler and boils it down through all this like confusing emotional fog that we sometimes can go through. So what is B?
Yeah. So B, so B is boundaries. And Antia and I are going to do a little role play to show this off. But before we do the role play, I think some women are sometimes we look at boundaries and we go, oh boy, you want me to like poke the bear, or like, you want me to nag at this guy? That's not what boundaries are. What boundaries authentically are is communicating what you like. And so the man that cares about you, when you effectively communicate and in a sexy, nice, fun way that you like X, the guy that likes you is going to be like, ooh, I want to do X because I want to make her happy. The wrong guy is going to be like, ugh, I don't want to do X. More work? Nope. That is not your guy, which all comes back to feeling needed, appreciated, all this stuff. If this guy doesn't want to go through this progression, get rid of the bozo because he's not your guy. That all makes sense?
Oh yeah, for sure. And again, this goes also back to self-worth as well, not trying to change the man, but actually being like, no, my man is ready. And if it's not a match now, it's not like, okay, let's see what happens down the line.
Yeah, all dating has to happen in the present. No matter how great the man's future looks, you know, you got to date on the present.
Yeah.
And so get rid of them.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to demonstrate something.
Yeah. We're going to demonstrate. So Antia is going to be the man and I'm going to be the woman.
All right. And should we just tell the women what's happening? Like, what's the setup? Or should we just dive in?
You whatever you want. Okay. You're the man. You're in charge.
Well, so I just took you out into a nice restaurant. And so like we had some dessert and some drinks. And, you know, I don't want the night to end, right? So, well, I would love to show you my fishbowl with my special piranhas.
At your house?
Yeah, at my house. Like, you know, just having a glass of wine and looking at the fish, like just getting to know the fish.
Oh, John, like seeing your fish sounds like so amazing. But it's like only our second date. So I'm not really ready to go to your house yet, but I'm really enjoying getting to know you and really looking forward to future dates.
Oh, come on, nothing. It can't hurt to have just a glass of wine. Have like your favorite champagne already in the cooler in the refrigerator. It's calling your name.
Oh, that's so nice of you. But I think I'm ready to go and we'll continue this another night.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So tell the women what you just demonstrated, because you actually went through a certain formula.
I did. It's kind of, well, the formula is compliment, state the boundary, give the guy hope. And, you know, we always talk about a man wanting to chase. A man's not going to chase if he doesn't feel like eventually he can catch you. So the moment he feels like he can't catch you, he's going to cut his losses. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are, how amazing you are. If he doesn't think he can get you, throw in the towel. So compliment, you know, we're saying like, hey, I'm enjoying our time together. Boundary, I'm not ready to go to the house. And then hope, but one day we'll do that. So he knows everything's still headed in the right direction. If he wants to keep pursuing, there's opportunity for him. And so the guy that's just trying to get sex, he's probably be like, oh, this sounds like a long road. The guy who likes you, he'll be like, oh, this is fine. I'll get there eventually.
And I think where most women drop the ball is I feel like really is giving men hope. Wouldn't you say so? What do you see in your research?
Well, you know, I'm hypersensitive to a few pieces. The compliment at the beginning, I'm hypersensitive. Like I'm words of appreciation. So the moment you say something negative to me, I kind of like shut down. So I think a lot of women have trouble. They're great at stating the boundary, a lot of women, but they don't give them the compliment first. They're just like, you're trying to have sex with me? Like, whoa, oh, and they shut down. And I get it. Like, this is your body. Like, this guy needs to leave you alone, like, unless you want it. But if you really like the guy and he's being respectful, we got to give him the compliment. And yes, to your point. And then at the other end, I think most women don't do the hope either. So it's the two ends are really important. Just stating the boundary can make a guy feel rejected, like he has no hope and there's no chance. And he feels like he doesn't feel rejected when he's saying, like, when the beginning happens, like, hey, I really like you, or hey, this is going well. So now there's no rejection. There's no rejection, and there's just hope, like, ooh, I got to take her out again. And maybe one of these days I'm going to get in there. Or whatever. I don't care when I get in there. I like her. We'll get there eventually. Totally.
Yeah, I really love that. Well, awesome. So ladies, we are at the end. So what's needed, it was appreciated / admired, and then it was accepted, and then it was boundaries, right? Like, and to set some sexy boundaries. So Mike, for the women who are like, gosh, I would have learned so much more. I love your stories. I love your examples. And, you know, they just want to get to know more how they can continue this journey with you, what's your free gift?
Yes. I don't normally give this gift away, but I'm very excited about it. So I partnered with Helena Hart, and we're now offering private coaching. Helena, this is the only way to work with Helena, and this is the only way to work with me is through this link. What we're going to do is sign up for a 15-minute strategy call. This is to ultimately sign up for paid coaching, where we're going to work with you for 6 months. You're either going to work with Helena Hart, you're going to work with myself, or you're going to work with both of us. And as a team and me separately, we have the highest success rate in the country at getting people into a relationship. And we're using my online dating methodology that's been very well tested and works with the analytics of Match, OkCupid, and eHarmony to have literally the most efficient system from going single to into a relationship. So I'd love to show all of you that. And we also work with folks that are in relationship that are hoping to make it better. So if you're single, wanting to go into a great relationship, we help with that. If you're in a relationship, you want to make it better, we help with that. Helena, if you don't know Helena Hart, she's great at feminine energy and laws of attraction. And then I'm going to be more on the strategy, system, methodology from taking you single into a relationship. And so all of you know, it's very hands-on. It's not a handout. It's not a video. I literally will go, for example, into your Match account with you on Zoom, share my screen. We write your profile, do your picture, send your message, show you how to do my methodology to get to a guy. And very simply, at a high level, what it is we're going to do a 50-12-1 system. We're going to ask 50 guys on a date. 12 of them are going to say yes. We're going to pick one. We're going to repeat that 6 to 8 times. And I expect we're going to find someone you like and get you a boyfriend using that exact methodology. Does that make sense, Antia?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, totally. So the link for that, ladies, will be right below this video. So good to have you back, Mike. We missed you. So excited to have you back as well. And thank you for sharing all your wisdom and your examples. I just loved it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, ladies, and I will talk to you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.